So I'm doing in a way. So nearby is a shiano. I said maybe some lessons about immunity. And I chose this topic because most of the time nearby as a autism of work vaccination as some there's a lot of conspiracies that comes with vaccinations like some, and I know that some of them are true. Some of them they need to be investigated, but it doesn't necessarily mean say be a vaccination wrong. So if you say vaccination, say I say basic na say immunity no, and yet vaccination at the by so Yankopon SCA. So they say how you are meant to be vaccinated naturally. That immunization. Into I want you to create a picture in your mind. And I say be a one I say I can for bank or be bank. And there ubenya security or more be a bank on my say be on my press alarm, right? On my press alarm no. Now omodi kind of first encounter to the armed robbers no. While they are encountering them within minutes or some few hours be you have a police for mobile a police for so by the time will come out sometimes they also call for SWAT if it becomes very very intense and dangerous they'll call for the SWAT team, which are basically special weapons and tactics. That's they are advanced than the police, they are more trained, but like highly trained than the police. A during us motion to me handler, they will call the army. Basically, something bigger than the SWAT team. If I say, "Omo kwa na modin kunume no," it to glass of breaky. It be a sebe baby kura wu. A be free ambulance aba. Ambulance ba on be ye be omo me pra omo se ko fixe omo me wu. Yeah, be free fire service for omo ba na omo na ombe. Basically I'm maintaining area no they say if there was even a fire I'm never doing no I'm never cleaning up the place no and so maybe I'm afraid probably a cleaning crew who come and just basically finish everything off. Put that whole picture in your mind, right? There's an arm robber Obiaba inside the building, they weren't meant to be there. There's a security man, security personnel, they attacked, they signaled, and then police came. The fight was much intense. They called for help. SWAT came. It came to a point they also needed much help. And then they called for the army. Army came in. Later on, you have the ambulance coming in, take care of those who are broken, who are sick, who's dead, whoever. And then you call in the fire service. If there were trapped people in the building, if there was fire, whatever, they'll come and clean up. And then basically that's it. Everyone say they seen Yana. One of the armed robbers they escaped. One of them escaped. How do we trace the armed robber? If I find a picture, made a posted TV, so media, television, wherever, say this is one of the armed robbers. He is armed and dangerous. It's well about whom be a signal, and then we have to find them, right? Basically, well about whom be a signal them. This, in fact, is the whole idea about immunity. The whole point is immunity is our body's natural defense system that protects us from harmful germs. And by germs, microorganisms, we mean like viruses, we mean bacteria, we mean parasites, we mean fungi. Example of a virus, coronavirus, right? Your bacteria, say, Salmonella typhi, which causes typhoid. Your parasites, say, malaria parasites, I'm trying to remember the name. Not sure I remember, but malaria parasite. And fungi, so all these come together to form microorganisms.
Hello?
You can divide microorganisms more into two, basically, especially bacteria part. Bacteria, your BFN, normal flora and your normal fauna. Your bacteria omote your food my basically gut bacteria, bacteria that are meant to be in our intestines. Help your digestion, extracting nutrients from food. Basically, the ecosystem of our intestines, no, it cannot be 100% without these bacteria. You do yogurt now with bacteria and you don't mean that way, no, it will enhance your gut biome, your biome. So that's one. And your bacteria, they live on our skin, in our hair, they live on our body. They're not meant to be inside our body, they're meant to be outside. They also balance our health, our system. Ofa ebia nipa da senia sebi, even where we have our feces coming from the anus, the sigmoid colon, the large intestines. These are places where feces start being produced, or they have large amount of bacteria and organisms where they break down, they make things like spoil, rot, and a manner about sebi if in the toilet. No? And if oba, you remember oba in a way, oba I say, bacteria and fungi, a balance of it. At any point in time, bacteria and buffer fungi basra is when you're white. It could be anything. It be an antibacterial do before bacterial infection be side effects with my bacteria anymore buffer na fungi and be bro na say bacteria na one ubenya white, their friend white it because or baby or candida albicans, which is the white na a white obasano, and they're not meant to be more than the bacteria. There's a balance in the ecosystem. So everything about the body, is balance. Intina, you check out pressure, you check out sugar, be honest. Oh, I say between a hand and a half. Because you're not going to no. You were the cholesterol pie pim, and the from pie pim. If you feel baby, you're okay. Your body in a dani. Human being, we are being. We don't exist in one single pinpoint. It's like a fluctuation. I say, I put the rare waves on a cholesterol now from sunny body near cranity. Inti. Sɛ yɛka sɛ immunity na nyankopɔn bɔyɛ no ɔhu sɛ ɔbɔ no mma pii wɔ asase yi so many organisms, and some of them we don't know. Sɛ yɛhwɛ yɛkɔ arctic circles ne antarctic anaa baabi a ɛwɔ ice age ne saa ice domes ne yɛwɔ no, a scientist might tell you say because of the frozen waters ne ɛwɔ no, it's even possible sɛ yɛka sɛ yɛnane saa ice blocks ne ɛwɔ no mu a the microbacteria, microorganisms, say be who or no other virus be who no. It be because we are saying who ye because a freezy for all time yeah hundreds of years I was so freezy no freezy. Until omaka say be a global warming I'm gonna say something about it's almost like say in so no it will release any bacteria, any virus, any fungal, any parasite be which is trapped inside us frozen water. No? Nti that's when you that idea and say Yakupon boy and Nina was so. So the thing is, what does the immune system do? One, it detects germs or microorganisms. It attacks them, it destroys them. And one thing is it also remembers them. It has immune has a memory, right? Into if you compare that to immunization, what does it mean? Because immunization is like saying we have vaccination. So it's almost like a safe way to teach your immune system what a disease looks like without getting sick. So we give you something that looks like the germ and the causative organism of a disease. Say maybe a COVID-19 coronavirus no. Yɛfa coronavirus na either send the protein and then the DNA and yɛde aduro bi gu aboa no na aboa no mmerɛmmerɛ na yɛde saa aboa no a wɔkɔ sɛ wɛn awɔ abra a ɔntumi ma wɔnyare na mmom na wɔwɔ hoɔden no wo immunity no anaa immune cells no ɛbɛwɔ akɔhwɛ ho sɛ aboa wei mahu no maku no na wakae saa aboa no to the next time wɔbɛnya infection na anaasɛ wɔbɛnya coronavirus na ankasa bɛba mu no wakɔ no da nti ɔnim sɛ na ɛtumi ku no nti na wonya vaccination a with my already build but entimi born to the idea and the sentiment born to because that time no na o body enya na pain into him send you kono and send you kono and then na onya chicken pox a yes unya bio yes be unya bio utiminya but unya do pen so a ebema ho na maso aso mo hu se me ya chicken pox because onye ekọ mo janum no na oni padua accommodant no okuni nyina and obrana say into how they not strong enough to create the symptoms of chicken pox but umoja maybe a name to the whole vaccination the Jacopo and the camber that the yeah the for nipa hwe nipa mu se na Jacopo boy no and was okay aboy ko emu naturally no a boy home by because your body no say no corner ultimate call next time and when you say your fat body be na near that show mu no will not produce immunity against it so now is stronger and then your friend vaccination and your friend immunization say Ghana can't me say most of the time no mom take cross na they never get sick like mom take a crossing village no, will never really get sick because the stadium is almost like it's like these people also call for ma ebia or call for man am kwan so no akote ebia kodu and akote anka bi oni so wrong keke kra na they just start taking it eating it for you know maybe na abwe bi wo ho a na oye jam odi na ekọ ni mu no and I do not know one just so yara so nyare and that was sorry you don't see it yet but of vaccinating no because you know the name mo bi wo ho odi no emo no acid no ema na ye mre ebi emo no fa so ko ni moja mu by that time na emo no amaye mre ni nti man ko se yare and a body ni scanning who say oh we on kai ho oye antigen on kai system no a anti-genetic material antigen into a against ye in sana bedia yonkuno and then they learn how to be to realize people who eat natural food and vegetables no people who do like who live in the villages like DNA say me stronger it's because these natural journey you know they comes with this kind of microorganisms in a way we are also vaccinating ourselves but in your you know see the chemical now going into no you say autokoduka no already employer and because sebi even insects are very good determinant of original like very good fruit a journey or the journey menu could mean to na a more insect and it's not amount go back on what that means they can sense say we are natural. That's how you can tell because the insects no yeah a journey now would no more insects are very tiny omo no omo timi hu bacteria say na ye hu bacteria no so they know which one are bacteria or who omo akodi air natural into that they are attracted to certain football other ones and yet attracted to because those ones with chemicals or ma and that body called omewu they won't survive so they don't go near it so let me break it down just a little idea about this white blood cells only to because hospital yes a white blood cell no a 11 a 12 once a above 10 and a 10 and above we suspect when you be an infection say because when your white blood cell no a yes we are I didn't hear the idea is say a white blood cell kosra it means a body I release almost a mumbra and meko a bit mental could be say a bacteria say a virus say friend say fungi you know a bit more say inflammation response this white blood cell no they can scan hey I want to say police for the picture actually the people say when you panache they can scan and once they scan ever said was scanning the cry they what on left but a white blood cell no more what dream now nine they can know I don't even nobody knows how they communicate whether it is proteins but nobody knows no science can tell you we theorize ABR they release proteins are the proteins or the hormones when they'll tell the other ones no and then they'll start preparing themselves for battle but we don't really have proof so they scan and then they send an alarm. That's one of the beautiful part. They send an alarm and call for help. To matter say beginning because they create a picture between them say I confirm ko bank. I confirm no bacteria be a real mojam. If I say malaria parasite na real mojam. A real mojam na your body will think say and already if you for on kai home on one of the first responders. If I say because the security in your bank on them, if any neutrophils, one of the type of white blood cells, no, omuku bacteria and a fungi binum. First things that they quickly attack and they eat invaders. Into malaria process be called more omuku kuomo, no ma mene omo. If any phagocytosis, omuko mene in one of bomb, right? And your lymphocytes. If you want to know just that lymphocytes are a form of white blood cell and a type of white blood cell. Lymphocytes they will B cells and they will T cells. B cells may create antibodies. Beginning make us be antigen. Antigen yeah antigenetic material. All genes no all system no. Adibia and antigenetic. Antibodies, protein bodies are all body are created to fight the anti-genetic material. The antibodies are created by your body to fight antigens are a fair bontable body. I hope I don't confuse you. So they're basically special proteins that fight on target germs, virus, bacteria, toxins, anything. And they were lymphocytes and only T cells. T you know, me school make us say na yes, I mean the terminator. It kills infected body cells. And then a control immune response upon very powerful viruses, cancer cells. These are the ones that fight it. The main cancer cells, they find the natural killer cells, and then a killer cancerous cells are and the antibodies be are. It just goes in, say virus infected cells and quantia and our tumor cancer be are. If it be NK cells, natural killer cells, any kuno. And something about a monocytes and then macrophages. So basically, like I say, neutrophils not quite more like secrete no more bank on them no. Lymphocytes, I am more like if anything, police on my ball no. T cells no kelenkuto no the terminator cells no. Or me more like the SWAT team. And they all I mean no soldiers for my ba. Our macro is a natural killer cells no. And suddenly what macrophages. These macrophages no omoba just many. My say like and the refuse they just come and swallow up when you're pompada. So when you're pompa, when you get pompa muscle now, macrophages no, monocytes no, or mono come many because they are so big, they cannot pass through our system and they can come out as urine or sweat into or lymph nodes no. Also, yes, as a no lymph nodes or your comb say open say was a big TV show say I say balloon get be boss say she was in so felimu. A bit so I am to a boy a haimu. This lymph nodes no a collective distance ne boa na be pakegu baby fako. Na na because body ne person about one thing it mean for skin and bad one thing direct. It's too big to pass through the pore spaces, no. It mean go through or glomerular, which is your kidney, no, and your basically how your kidney filtrates urine. It mean from bad mountain by urine, and it mean go toilet in so we go to mean fat or intestine him too big. And it doesn't want to go and spread it. It be collecting in one specific place because MSM creates sepsis, which is basically infection that causes the number of body organs. So it collects at one place, now pipe pop. Na mo say if you never want to na all time no. Ni nyinaa your body no ho bamba obo no. A opese omani e bi fa ako. I say can call police, you call bank on na BBS area no. Na police for on their homa yellow no. Extra than nyinaa she say ah yanko honum. It's the same way the anti body monocytes they collect the areas no and just pack them away. So when you sonsono boy yam da is a kodi a 1+400 Ghana no ibino. If it be basophils, so eosinophils no a parasite, especially a sonsono and the worms. If it be helminthiasis, any infection of worms or helminths, unyanwa eosinophils no into a big hospital, yachini moja, white blood cells no, it be a lymphocytes or fem, neutrophils or fem, but eosinophils also not anyone say eosinophils also now a parasite into any malaria parasite some form of parasite be into a tumor acquire blood culture no ma a more homogeno and yini ever multiply. A multiplier will identify say okay a boy we na homogeneous and some what test in no be they be ko abo na ntem no so okay ene ye ma we do we na konom international be enyo blood a culture sensitivity test na fe be blood so fe be so basophils let me say be alarm na ebo no ene fe no basophils so they release chemicals if any histamine in a create allergic reaction say if I say again a chicken pox hayo or now all of a sudden right chicken pox go no cow now your hene histamine no into what's the na onya allergy in BS econom cetirizine ana rising ana clofenamin clofenamin malate ana I'm not other ones like a no send only no ma antihistamine it works against the histamine sana onke cow bio pompon and swelling like I say it just regulates that inflammation, It's these soldiers now about body, neutrophils, first responders, it was lymphocytes, they could more antibodies, airborne by and the air a cancer cells. They were natural killer cells. We are healthy now to be as Nyakopon Bawa. Nyakopon himself cancer the baby. At any point in time you get cancer sometimes, so but natural killer cells no and they could cancer. And I realize if it be garbage in, garbage out. It imagine say it be a besi dan. And then the cement in the sit down or say me de clay me de loamy soil and you na de agriculture no. Any mom no do use go gumo so di besi dan. Ada na be de bedwuragu. To one say normal the sit down no. And one de na better than so one den. Oni padua na ho den be the other come no na che oni padua ho den so onya. So whatever you put in, it will put out. Your immune system no, is as strong as what you put in, which is the building blocks of the immunity. No, if the cells no come out, no, the cells no man the forming cells no stronger or cells into me strong. Want me go for so any not under them they be and not talk about on to come out. And on for so any woman joining did be away when we are common dinner. It will continue some or. So you realize that even the food you eat, it contributes so much more in how those things are produced. Because white blood cell mechanic, proteins. Protein beers if you're with them and kusuya, soya bean. These are all protein building foods. It is protein foods when you're body building. What body are you going to build? Now, in the soldiers we are bombing yano. In the Sonya idea no say when your idea no. So it's a very, very special. I don't say send a boy my missionary to me Jones, I don't know, but I'm for more Ghana na or no Bonteno. It been a journey, send no moody, just say very disgusting things you will see. I say, I say, Omonia, and you one answer Omonia crowd. But the whole idea is because the more things you put in your body, and it only makes you stronger because your body will scan it, recognize it because it has a memory of it and it knows how to fight it. And you can only fight it as strong. Your immunity will be only as strong as what if you use to create that immune cells. And this is what immunization is about. How God designed our body. But I believe say we will make busters be. Your idea was can we say so obi me yare me de me here a vaccination and I say me here immunity. That's wrong. Polio vaccines na ye ni nyane aboye pa aboye system no because and no man at friend obi all say bia me dem di me have vaccine. That's a lie. Nutrition helps, but vaccines teach your body specific responses because you're testing the lab and what idea you person responded to. Natural infection because it be when your infection are stronger than vaccines no. Sometimes it can be true, but on a general clinical base, no, it's not true. Your natural infection can be deadly because maybe a whole day no, and you're strong enough to break the boundaries no, because a man about no, weak. Into also they will fight for their own lives in your body. But vaccines no, more you weak no more that to body mo. Into your body has an advantage over them than the other way. So vaccines safely prepare your body than natural infection. So there's a high risk of natural, because I think there was a French emperor, I don't remember the name no. Now, or the poison they're gonna drain him just to strengthen the immunity. Talks in economy na body na build it. Ebi on no you know different oh good immunity than before until no yeah I was to ba try ya. Oh be why say me what the deal was into I want to no mo janim. Try ya oh be. So there's a difference in how our body is structured. Obia the uncle. Obia say young people don't need to worry. Young people are meant to be strong, but even healthy people can fall sick and spread diseases. So vaccination is important. And we they go come our elder generation, they'll be like, oh, prayer, me bomb pie baby me. No, prayer, knowledge, action. This is godly wisdom. James 2:17 say faith without works is dead. So you understand, sir, whether you have the faith or not, no, it's how you act upon it. What about one pie? They are about one pie when you're in the new home, and I'm on 2 they can go there. This is the truth. And people will be like, oh, no, vaccine, some do queen. I don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. You name the custom system names are. But the idea about vaccination is meant to protect us, to enhance our immunity, to be able to fight and fight well. We shouldn't really like downplay the benefit of it. But some kind of inflammation. Obviously, I say be also when you're inflammation, right? But there's the thing. What is inflammation? Say, your body, white blood cells. Once they come into your blood and in your system, and they start to fight, there's a reaction and as a side effect of the process. The process they are going through, inflammation, yes, but there's a metabolic process, a process being go through your BFN, your metabolic breakdown, right? And they put it together. Proteins must come together to fight, to divide other proteins too. That metabolism, no, and then you find a catabolism, it just breaks them down. And then anabolism, right? So all these processes different inflammation. No? Your number 5 be a bit chance on say your inflammation I will go no one. Baby inflammation no one hobesh. Pompoboa or the show skin no. Baby a normal. Maybe a born on course of why she because inflammation a coso. 2 hobe red. Inflammation ba hobe be a boss of one quasi clan because histamine I can want some na alarm body no. One thing somebody near say, "Emma umoja no red blood, Emma umoja no drobeno." The blood vessels they engorge, they enlarge to let more blood pool over to their sites. No, tinama wabe red. Moja na eba also no. Reaction na cause metabolism na cause no. Instead of ukomika omoyesha a metabolic process ukomika omoyesha. Same thing na body ni adwuma. Nti hobe red. 2, ibenya pain. Ubenya yaw ewo honum say a pompo say be otina honum na ya basa basa because histamine no your system is to be creating my pain eba. That's one. And 2, eba localized inflammation as be say eba pompo and I be when you inside bu honum baby na hoyo ya na ina say pompo na most the kwan say pompo ni so na be gina no ebe tena on nerve so the swelling will set upon a nerve. That nerve no will be in pain. Let me put that way. The pressure from the swelling will press on the nerve and they will call out pain, call out pain. It's the best signal pain or yeah, because of the pump baby ever seen in my pain neighbor. So you me answer or bear red and a hobe hono. Ona want to best reason say this information is now a step by step. Then it just happen a process. A process. Inti once the war be must be na scan climate change e be can no be break it down so omunyi na be wo na skin na wo ho no once be pie fi was o ya red na say e wo ten na pie na liking bi bia ho nya dey about bunting. And our body is very powerful how it works into inflammation enya bad o It's more like our body's alarm system and repair signal and a repair body. It helps us heal our injuries and fight infection. But if a too much and a too longer on December, inflammation a short term, it shouldn't be more than 8 weeks, 12 weeks. So when your condition be na inflammation a go to person, and if you have chronic diseases, only say stress a form of inflammation. Into only stress for a long time, what high blood pressure. So this sugar, no sugar no more na inflammation, obtain diabetes. Until long-term inflammatory process will cause disease, especially chronic diseases. And about infection. What is infection? When germs enter the body, grow and multiply a infection, and they cause symptoms like fever, pain, swelling, and they can was something. But immune system will fight to clear it. Into boost say inflammation for infection a good because the same infection when your infection be own immunity. Because yes, it helps train and strengthen your immune system and it builds immune memory. Then they can, but too much can harm your health. Because I said go. But as and when it comes, your body fights it, your body works it out. That's one. And you have to understand, say, this idea it goes around, say, people are engineering vaccines to cause conspiracies, and it's so hard to talk about these things. I told myself say I will leave this outside it because I don't want to venture into that. No? So you know what, I'm gonna leave that one out. But what I will say is, say, Oba, you will be Oba. That's not about hospital. Yes, no. It was a condition acquired when I say polio no one and so or say the history no as a man vaccinating me but other or vaccination is someone do kunkura someone they send gradually and then I also almost in a cancer because maybe it's true I'm going to imagine but the thing is these are things that's giving your children a fighting chance against these diseases no? Because the immunity of our system, our generation now, is not the immunity of the past. The people in the past they had a stronger immunity than us, naturally, because they were not using antibacterial so much more. So they using and then no one be on man across with the bear back. Yeah, may I not call drugs or no. But you don't know, say even taking antibacterial for long term, no, it destroys your body. Cause one, it become bacteria no your food until what they do the improper digestion and no be okay. Two, it causes imbalance in your pH because bacteria is not as a balance of pH. No, so now you're from be acidic, so the be base in your intestine one a woman. But one moment to antibiotic be na o antibody amount interest be an best 7 days. Or no 7 days me hon tom all my doctor can review no e be na nya no client ya. E review for. Na sa ko to do ko won say edro ni we na ko drugstore patcho ni pedro we bi. No no sir best 3 months. Why? And we make ourselves our own doctors. So you have to understand say like our bodies were designed for the future. Like God knew us what we are going to be in the future before he designed us. Wanya nwie ana wankɔtena heaven wanga sɛ me kora sɛ mewɔ film sɛ ma yɛ be da bi ɔyɛ ni nyinaa sa ana bɛbɔyɛ kɔ ne bɛsi nyina dada ɛnɛ what I'm going to leave you is with this. If you want to be as healthy as possible, you need to provide better nutrition for your body to build cells. The ingredients to build your body cells vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates. Most importantly, vitamins and proteins. Your protein should be rich and good. By when I'm fish, red meat, but mataso, emmanuel lean meat, they are grilled and atoto, na from. If it's possible, it shouldn't be oil. If it should be oil, I'll find the best proper oil. Because most oil, once you put it in the fire, most of the protein, it denatures protein. It would mean just one year into a better second one than say obechi. and now better so potato and now benoa. These are the two best. Either you grill or you boil your meat. Kosia, your plant-based protein, say soya bean, groundnut, and coffee. They're also very healthy. Proteins build our system, so the quality of protein you take in will be the quality of your immune system and your body. Your skin cells repair your body enough for more rare to 3 weeks when it goes to your protein. The protein alpha go and very important. Vitamins. Vitamins are quite say the system tuning, the fine tuning of the system. It puts everything together. It be release it. No, baby, this toxic be every mu. All you need them no is these fruits no and vegetables we eat. Ubodi dia anke what more ebia onsa be half enam eguso kama no wanya nyame adom leaves be one chain when you tangerine or anka be sin chain. So did ya enam vegetables and fruits. But kuni dia kana ketwe bi when you anka be sin chain no say vitamins. And that's how we should be eating. And when we eat, we should eat according to what we do, not what we feel. It's the man broso. Inti, what did he? Now to an anya shade. Intina but as a ben couldn't forbid the anapa. Anapa is one ya shrimpa, if you're not pana, be saying you manage there. But in the bay you see ye. But the late in the night, never more do. That's a quiet carbohydrate. But they break it down by your glucose now. And you be more. Glucose a fuel can into us. A fuel on the ancient, the fuel that's home. You can never have an empty fuel if your car is not moving. So if the body is not moving, the glucose is not gonna be metabolized, and then it ends up being fat, and then fat ends up being plaques in your bloodstreams, and it's causing high blood pressure and changing your cells and making you more diabetic. So you have to get a picture of that, and it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done because say one born and transfer by 1 year, but trust us, and baby, we are second. You got your money now. It takes intentionality to change diet. All the time, and now there. But me and the best 6 weeks are no catch up. Because me for sugar and good team, cocoa mua. A bit of basa be first 6 weeks of the day, then you'll be okay. But our body likes sweet things. You catch my own. You don't coupon your boy. Well, they also have to add that into if you be I believe it's a gremlin. Your two hormones where your body mo. Hunger hormones no and satiety hormones. These hormones no is the reason why I be feeling hungry and also be feeling maybe satisfied, right? Say what I wanna say calculate all these things are you have to understand say the way you go pon boy and any genetic system no is different than obia there. Obo ne satiety hormone no say odidi now say system na releasing in tama on this accommodate no but the but a training because before the satiety hormones no about body I'm not gonna say ebia what no leptin before leptin about body mu I'm also one man no also tells your body your flu no there's a way to say emma na signal body now brain because I'm okay. But this is a thing now. Imagine say also the journey book kind of man what the book is here. What did this say there? Oh man, that yes, oh me your phone no it used to getting larger to a point saying the size no be more but say one me. That's one. In today's the case, imagine say what did he? Now say this thing is going on now. We will pay you knows oh man that because it's your eyes, your stomach size, and your brain telling you. And your eyes will see the food is small, your stomach will sense the weight is small, you believe you're not full. It comes together. You can retrain your brain to believe otherwise, but it will take time. Secomedowa ghrelin is a hormone and mouse stomach. In mouse sense, the commodore, bejidi. Yeah, oboro phone. These hormones no, are produced much more in our body. Mostly, also your sympathetic and parasympathetic activities. Onya hwee na ɔwɔ no ma sympathetic activity like onya hwee na ɔda wɔ dia. It's almost the same thing that ODD. Sleeping and eating is the same base. Into when you have another one yeah, nothing always a come say, no say medi. One activity be beyond your call, one you and the one have from when you be and you are doing this war. Oh yeah, wine, we did another. Then you feel guilty, then you wonder why you did because the hormone was released, no. But you have to do something to take an activity to take your mind off it. Like shutting it down. And there's so much more part of it. Insulin, eba, udidia. It takes breaks on the sugar, put the sugar back into the cells, and it uses say it signals fullness after you eat. But ibiyananka udidia. No jam na insulin ya juma sa baba didi no didi insulin no that's so much jenim sa nti ase timo jana but sugar no coffee timo sugar but sugar no coffee and then you get hungry and the ghrelin will be released and you go and eat and you feel like you are full later you're not full you go eat again. It's like a cycle. So if you have to train your diet and eat, naturally you're meant to eat once or twice a day. That's us. But they say be more a breakfast, lunch, then they say coffee be breakfast, brunch, lunch, and the word dinner. And you say well lana also there. And I hope say a bit much join the say vitamins, no fruit and vegetables. It should be more. What did ya when ya greens no one chain, chin gabi dan chain. No one ya anka and I say a pineapple gu nkyɛn a wode tra hwɛ ɔwie wɔnam wayɛ salad ɔnom juice bi this nkoa no woyɛ no nkoa nkora for bɛyɛ 1 month kora no a na in between wodidi ebi ɛmo kakra barrier kakra na yi a you realize how your body behaves differently. So it's important we take good care of our nutrition, our diets, which will in that way build our body, and our body will give us the best protection, and then hopefully by God's grace we can live longer. Me de besia nyame adoma next time I start to also inti it will be a question for a normal if there's any question or importantly be or contribution bo na yede ba. Thank you.
Yo, Pacho, nipa na o invigilating pesa me kasa kakra. Hello.
Pacho maninko.
Opani o kasa eda wasi papa ne de o ma me kwan do school kakra o. Aso be jama koda na ko. Ne edi kana o kan about malaria parasites be a plasmodium species, 4 varieties.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And falciparum.
Yeah.
Eto so bio wo de starti wo scenario no wo de starti say okrofo a wako bank ne consi swata military bom mani ade papa de to bio me track class na yenyi no aduane tofom a ye fadi.
Yes.
Because you see African germs are not dangerous. Na sadi no me boa ye mu bi papa.
Yes.
Ye no
Yes.
abibe join soldier no me ba me ho yakasi enkomrika bi ya fosoro gidi bitimu sade no boa me pa
Yeah.
na swanu so no ye wo ye panie bi na ese machine ye de bow ba ni sunlight me wo primary school no eti etwam bi beda ho te se simple a minya na eko
Abetino, yeah.
o se aboa ye papa
Yeah.
minya chicken pox na mo secondary school ye de mori na mam sraye kawa ye ni tetanus bia de kowo ye ti ayi achampo de twitwiri so it would compare e wo ma ye wo mkromu am hyehyɛ dem no a omo na no mtimi nya polio ni za dan new year meti ye Texas o manya malaria measles wo ho bisi awurade nyankopɔ ya
Yeah.
ya
I break it. Yeah.
yesu so ye nya ma bro so no enti bi dan se fama me kwado school ba me ja ma me ma me ya dwuma 30 years public health division.
Oh, thank you for your service. Yeah. Oh,
That's why
yes,
so can
that's
be
it. I mean, the kind of my kai asembia na me wo me friend bako efie na omunya katodwa ntofem ana nesta bako on why no bro for sem na je wa fa ne baye na ndi to twene am sister baye na odi no If I'm not from no, I cry and cry immune system of him. You're bare for years something. And you think say a bit milk, but I tell you say, as far as immune
Nkuno.
system no from no, unkuno a building. Now maybe
Sasa.
say a bit no, ni chlorine at the edge family be behind, nay, you and Edino. It to two body off near to turn near dinner one ma. But then
Ah,
they are any what that time said they were on it. What do you think is so? Because the system
yes.
we had then, no, it was how God made sure say your body is as a back. Asasene
Um,
my bibia your body bedroom when they are born home by there's some bibia
um,
masasene so the enyini so there's a balance of I don't even know how to explain it but say no can bear pet but then you say yeah quite anymore you don't feel like
oh,
it's a chance say enyini I say no we have to go back
yes.
to the old ways that is the only solution you have to go back to the
Omisha.
old ways.
Don't do nkwamna sua de mo. Ai.
Amen papa. Yeah, that's so yeah.
Your boss, there was a now, yes, American medical history, or children case there, inoculation and vaccine in origins now, a slave view of Ghanaian origin, command, Ofi command to bay, no Boston, no master, cotton mather, and oil sulfur. Now, only knowledge about inoculation na ade na no master no inspire no master ma 17 I think 21 a smallpox outbreak or a Boston one no master okay medical if na we use to stop a damn smallpox and somehow they attribute this inoculation and vaccination to them Onesimus no fi African and Ghana commenting. Now, with all this knowledge, even traditional practices in Kano historically, will be here na do when Kokonfuwa, what's Wabutan, with you channel what the BB Gudu it's all a indication of some sort of inoculation. But with
Yes.
all this, maybe so that happens it's been very difficult for them to find a vaccine for malaria because Erican was you talked about bacteria, fungi, and all those things, but anytime you made reference to malaria, you refer to parasites.
Sure.
In Argentina, we'll find very difficult to get vaccine for malaria.
To the best of my knowledge, what I can answer is this. I remember back in school, we literally had the same question in school. Say, but malaria, if you are finding vaccines for everything, and malaria been there forever, I didn't mean yeah. Your antibodies and cover creatinine, yeah, and then in RA, it will be prophylactic treatment. That's the best option I will see. A more panny any word draw. Yeah, chance we need the able fighting our bomb. Malaria, me very tricky. The parasites once they come in your body now, your body can kill it all. This is a thing. They work like almost like virus. No, your body can kill malaria parasites. And send them can a plasmodium falciparum. That's the common one in Ghana. Across malaria. And this is the thing now. They come in there. They like red blood cells. Omo pe moja mupa. Ti quickly omo ko just your liver and cells ni mu. Omo ko show din. No omo tete free police for no your body no meku omo no. Omo omo to meku omo. Omo ko show back up panama and one no. They go into one red blood cell pair. Omedi di mu a anom hemoglobin na yina no wa bebrebe wo one cell pair. To one cell pair na paya. It was a pie na 1 million pen a pie. 1 million bit mako 1 million cells. Now back be a 1 million cells be another million to a million times a million. To my price, one thing is they produce very quickly. Now to create an antibody of that an antibody of that as a vaccine, no, that means it's if malaria no, and one be a plasmodium or whatever, or any form of other plasmodium there may cause malaria. We put it into our body for our body to create this no. But that's the thing. Immunity exists but doesn't last long. I don't know why. Because you know, say, South Ghana, now Tanya malaria, do maybe a way immune to malaria. No, unless immune system member firm to the point say a better from whether it's stress or you are sick in other way be, and then malaria now will say I want to go for your about to go this morning, then when so when you malaria. Anna, yeah, Ghana system also now. When we get stressed, your body can break down somatosensory organ na and as somatosensory system no. Your mind feels tired, your body can break down. Naturally, you know, who say, oh yeah, man, why you malaria. Obekɔ lab obetest sɛ malaria process no mogya mu onya malaria malaria process obi organ na bia meka sɛ sia no wɔ ne mogya mu but ɔnyare ɔnenam hɔ because body no ɛko into ɔnyare but ɔyɛ stress no ayɛ mmerɛ no ɔyɛ ne basabasa ɔkɔ test be hu sɛ nti obi nyare sɛ sia na organ ɔkɔ test be sɛ wɔ ne mogya mu ɔni malaria but wɔ ne mogya mu nti wɔ sɛ two contributing factors be sia na ka sɛ malaria nti one ɛmɛ yɛdwen sɛ malaria no dɔɔso bebree wɔ Ghana. Malaria illness ne and nurse be Ghana. Malaria condition na mu de o yemo jimbe be present na yemo jemu. Inti even if you create a vaccine right now, the way it works no, it doesn't last long. I think say and scientists one thing is say science and research no. It depends on who is doing it. More for malaria and your mosa. It's more priority. It was meals and some malaria. They are more priority no. And you know more who and then the most question say in your research in question wajuma. And malaria, air brony crumbs that they Ghana na by now kill your vaccination, but it's not their priority. It becomes also it says there how the resources are distributed, who's working on it, is a priority. Same year no, but now I am left for that. I don't know if I answer your question now. I know there's so much more I don't know about things, so but I can't say this how I can answer it.
You Murasu.
That's a papa.
Ipacho obi wo mmoa na asembisa foforo bi wo hɔ na obetumi di aba.
Hello.
Hi.
Anonko.
Doctor, yeah, that was very. I said, maybe in the middle of the topic, no, to me, new actually topic I can WhatsApp. But kakra me person bisane say, that you know, can does it contribute to obenya yeast infection and that kind of so when you know what's so and I higher and those things no over develop now.
Okay.
Yes.
I think say back at my parents that's only be my be yeast infection call, but the tidbit I can give you about this is yeast infection is all no. Nakopon boy a man candidiasis na wunya lefe ni yeast no. E mo na kwa fe candida albicans. Ebi or man nyina say. But a colony, send as to your black people and your white people no. In what's in your bacteria and your fungal. They coexist to create a perfect conducive environment. Say any too acidic, any too alkaline. Say perfect in nature. At any point in time, say bacteria coffee mana fungi and those one. Almost we be no money we kona. That's why they start producing the whites in the Bible until we say white no. Into yeast infection is either one, it because the fungal no. They are increasing in number, reproducing more than they need to be, and there's no checks and balances. And my course, it could also be a reintroduction of a different species of the white, which is a kind of cancer. If I say a man you need to honor, Bako is A, Bako is B, is A no, Onyaya no, one number drama no hoye. What I say a call, but one number do not check. Is B or I found when you be Onyaya kwa na koye no hoye. On a call, maybe a toilet facility be no infected with yeast A there no. A there one number drawing time a draw A no me and B in him. Into a draw A no me and ama A then resistant to that a draw no. Into B mammy be no condom there na, mammy be no konya infection na. But try different little bit breakfast and yajuma. afi no bre e boss be ko try na e ka say oh adrewe na bebo ko number no no emfa nti kind of best way so be anya yeast na ya o course to acquire pap smear acquire smear your vagina inside and acquire lab acquire anything culture and sensitivity test we will culture e be grow in monash e mo crop hotel mo wo no near the nurse so here be ko mo e say do be ko mo konom but Obanya Baba could be a drawback one number draw 10 in a space of 3 weeks. Because no way and call no way uncle. As all how but you know, all my money air grow air resistant to the treatment until when you do it, it doesn't work. And I got for and say independent be so I want you say the forget say a fungal infection, your bacterial infection. When you're white, no amoxicillin, and you're it makes it worse because any bacteria now we understand more advantage and a leverage. Anti yeast infection, I think I'll take a time. I'll come back here and then I'll do another program on yeast infection. But for now, there is it's a whole lot. But the mechanic say it could be that say new immobile body dim, and I say one this what if I want the ambassador until when yeast infection. No? But yes, immune system will contribute a lot about this no because anyone fighting with immune.
That's pa na me pa cho one question so tam. Na UTI no so asem so nimze
Urinary tract infection is basically the entire one. And my member say Emma Bema de any one place. You baby ejaculate, baby or Johnson in one part. As I acidic in a way in a bon home. Emma de near separate. Or bow in the anal region. The toquano. Just like 3 centimeters away from the vagina. A bang. Vagina no sort of pairs or pair na Okoga crabby, I won't say urethra orifice, maybe just of an sort of chromosome na as a man clitoris. Into this line that on na is this about toilet is a tune to free the Nimo Konechi because toilet na one with my cross a boundary na be about where your vagina is. Where your vagina is, and your toilet one say about one say be a yeast infection or bacteria B-Awuah normal bacteria so called vagina. It's any point in time be a or Johnson even say when kina insulin bawa. Bacteria grows in moist, warm, dark places. Or you're dark already. Or you're moist because air skin ever for. What's that sweat here? And also another addition. And actually be a what Johnson be a one draw ye or why you're wet. Johnson now just acquire the uric acidic, all these things no. Oh, and we and so and we acquire say as I say your first and then moisturization. And we be a bacteria and bacteria maybe heat esa honum okay nyina boma wama a living organism send but me enyini atrive inti se ko ben me bia urethral orifice no wane ko fa honum a ebetimi akowram ekowram pe with my cause infection ti UTI basically say whether a mostly na bacteria mother bacteria ebewura urethral orifice no baby a Johnson just or baby a Johnson ni pie ba no ano no e koma kosi oblada no emo be ko wura ho and our body immune system the air fighting no and when you infection e wo honum because our body air fighting to tell you or some kind of pain or things shit most often that one or where $10 like a ya or Johnson a uric acid no so and because it crab baba Johnson drop him no acid because shimana say ya acid wako UT now the spirit afem no e be show no mu so ya to Johnson mu ya na you know into UTI so yeah another form of it but bacteria na come no na ma infection eba nobody so fight against infection no until you ask you we so to say all it may dry as possible we will be now so just say cotton and I be a lose man from us to me for was a precona also into me dry.
okay. That's it. And to say nyani nyina na ya na efom ka say STD no nyani ya na efisa oh.
Baby STD contribute and so into your a be causative factors. You may be a Maya Reneba. Some the American causative no. STD is my cause UTI because it be a all having sex. In the process of the sex no. Bema na bomb be on so nam. The bacteria one on in no. Naturally it will be introduced to your urethra or maybe a just or drop and another no. It be according to orders account and be about nti ebi a wachiachi obi ebi a bus of we me a bus bell so ebi a or try the waso skamu into bacteria one inside when the maria say or then I ka one transfer organization inside abawase I ka just draw no ebi means no of me coin na be kweti yare.
I mean, sure, I mean, that's it.
Amen. Messages so that's
That's on Patcham say a Brennerson.
Patrol, but they nice for questions and contributions by the day nice say and a baby tea program ni being na visa questions and na yankupon showing the sense that Yonkodoradio for so as say omo baby report day program no MI moment me and baby nina me bit me I reform to Yonkodoradio for YouTube page. No, the recording is still available on our platform. So you'll be able to me alcohol makakuti program. But you Sunday be free. I see no. Patrol Lieutenant Colonel Chuma of Patros baby I want to with me about pie. Am I free? I say.
Oh, mama yensi yetrase niemfa yekoma enko mpaibo yachi. Yejefo ni ye bank se yebofu onyankopon yedawase anwumre ene nimdia wodi afa owura awua so edi amaye eye infection immunity and diseases anipa yenya yekoso dawase se yedidie mu yensuo mu yebibia ye ne yade namu nanso obambo a wodi amaye nipa ntino yetimi kuntia sa yade mu shiraye na maye nyinche opani a obekira ade mani nyinche no hu no nkyere ye daa ne yenso a yabetia yesuan yemfantu ye trimu ne ye kotodwemu ne yemfanya adwuma eyi ne yebisa udin kronkron doba Yesu Kristo din mu amen.
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 Show me good night, Miss.
Good night and miss by Radin Fayam.
Amen.